How's it going? All Chris from Mystery cleaning windows on the File Coast once again. So, wanted to do a quick video today. I was on my lunch break today, doing a bit of doom scrolling through Faceache, and on one of the window cleaning pages, there was a young lad who's been through the mill a little bit, clearly new to the whole self-employed game, particularly the window cleaning. And, you know, was almost reaching out a little bit for help. So I thought I would chip in with my two penneth, perform my public service announcement, if you like. So, today's public service announcement. The young lad has put a post up and he's basically said something along the lines of this. He agreed a price to do gutter clearing, gutter facial soffit clean on a house, 80 quid. Now, I think that's too low, but regardless, this is not what the post is about. Bear with me. He's agreed a price of 80 quid, which is low. He's then gone to do the job. He's done the job, finished, etc. in 1 hour and 15 minutes. Okay? He has gone back to the customer and said, all done, ready to go, have a quick look, etc. and to collect payment. The customer's reaction was, what, you've done already? I'm not paying you 80 quid for that. There's no way you've done 80 quid's worth of work type effort. And instead, if the 80 quid that they both agreed at the beginning, he paid him 55 quid. The young lad has then taken the money and sort of cut his losses in his eyes. And he used the justification, again, in this post, he used the justification that he was worried that reputation is everything and that he would be destroyed on Facebook. A legitimate concern for a fledgling business. Okay. So ultimately, there are two choices, two solutions to this problem. And really, only one of them is a viable solution, which is you can grow a fucking backbone, okay, and put across and enforce the agreement. Now, there's a caveat to this, right? It's not my intention to put this young lad down, far from it. I want to help him and others like him. I want people to be aware of what they're worth. I want people to be able to charge appropriately, charge well, and make a fucking living out of what they do, okay? Now, the other solution is to allow it to happen. Take it for what it is, give it up as a bad job, and go home. Now, if you choose option one, grow a backbone, you stand a chance. If you choose to take the path of least resistance, which is to say, yeah, okay, I'll take what I'm given, I'll put it up and give it up as a bad job, then really what's going to happen is that's going to play into your mindset. At some point, you need to wrestle with the idea that ultimately the customer has no more power over you unless you let them have it. That fear of, you know, being judged, being called out on Facebook, being destroyed on social media, right, is at best a construct in your head. And I just wanted to put a little anecdotal story across as to how I've effectively dealt with this myself in the past. I have experienced something similar to this. The only difference was it was for a gutter clearing job, and we'd quoted 80 quid for this gutter clearing job. It took me 45 minutes to do. Okay, ladder, you know, trowel, scoop it out, dump it, you know, bag it up, bag it, tag it, take it home, sort of thing, right? 80 quid. The customer was like, is that it? Is that all you've done? I'm not paying you 80 quid. And now, my response at that point, I'm going to give a bit of background to this. And there's a reason why I did what I did. I was desperate for money. I can't tell you, I was fucking desperate. Okay, I was not going to go home with less than what I quoted. And that was that, okay? That was fear driven. The fear was not of the customer. The greater fear was of not being able to provide for my children, right? And you can look me in the eye, right? I've got no problem in telling you you know, the God's honest truth, warts and all. You know what I mean? That's it. I was not going home with less than what I agreed, okay? And as many people that know me personally will tell you, I am not the person with whom you want to fuck when my back's to the wall. That's it, okay? So I basically put my poker face on, and in a very sort of stern way said, well, I'm sorry, sir, you've got two choices, okay? You can either keep your money in its entirety, okay? Or you can pay me what we agreed. If you pay me what we agreed, nothing further will be said or done, okay? If, however, you refuse to pay what we agreed, keep your money, and I will spend the next 45 minutes, half an hour, whatever it is, going back up the ladder and dumping that shit back in your gutter. And that's that. Pokerface. Now, why am I saying Pokerface? Because at the bottom of me, I was shit scared. And I wasn't scared of a physical altercation with this guy. To be fair, I'd have probably tied him up in a pretzel and fed that money to him. That's not the point. My fear at that point, there was two things I was worried about. One, not being able to feed my children, but also the negative impact that that my business would receive as a result of that altercation. Okay, I have got no problem in going toe to toe with someone if I have to, none whatsoever, right? But I am not being screwed over. That's it. So the thing is that this young lad clearly has a problem in terms of his fear, or at least perceived fear, that that customer has some sort of power over him. And I can promise you this, the customer has no more power than you are prepared to give them. Any power that they have is something that you have gifted to them. They can't take power. They can't enforce. No one can force their personality onto you and force you to agree into something unless you let them. Okay? When it comes to dealing with that dynamic between the customer and you. If you let someone walk all over you and be a doormat, then a doormat you will be. But if you're the sort of guy that goes, I'm sorry, mate, I don't think you understand how this works. We've agreed a price and you're going to pay it. I provided the service. You can see the results. Okay? Time to pay. That's it. The power that you give a customer can be used back at you. And so don't be that guy. Don't be the guy that submits. Stand your ground. Now here's the thing, if by standing your ground, let's say let's talk about the worst case scenario, right? The worst case scenario is, right, you stand your ground and they go and wax lyrical all over Facebook. They will slate you this, they will slate you that, blah, blah, blah. Now let's assume for a minute that happens. If you've taken photographs of your work, then, you've got documented stuff in your favour. If somebody called me out on Facebook and said, he's a scam artist, he's done this, he's done that, he's done the other, yeah, the truth will out. Now, here's the thing. You then basically, someone puts up on a post that you've done X, Y, and Z. You give it more credit than it's due. Trust me. What difference does that have? The guy calls you a scam artist, right? And you turn around then and you respond with pictures of your work, the fact that you could turn around and tell your side of the story, etc. And here's the thing, there are two sides to every single story. I just look at some of these posts on Facebook and I do laugh, right? Because the sorts of Karens that put stuff up on Facebook and people that sort of, well, I was ripped off by such and such, and he's a scam artist, and you shouldn't use him, etc., and all this sort of stuff. These sorts of people are what we refer to in the trade, officially, as gobshite, right? I gotta laugh. And you're thinking to yourself, well, he did this, and he did that, and he did the other, and it's like, yeah, great. We've heard your side of the story, now I wonder what the other side of that story is. Because if you ask the tradesman 99 times out of 100, it's because the person is an utter ball bag to deal with. You know what I mean? And they've come up with this story, and I'm going to destroy you on. So, oh God, go on. But, oh God, do people really pay much attention to this sort of stuff? No, they don't. And here's the thing, even if they did post something up on Facebook, if you've got pictures of your work and you can put your side of the story across, which after all, Facebook will let you do, okay? and Google reviews, etc. You know, if someone ever gobshited me on social media or on Google, I would clearly respond by basically giving my side of the story and let the public decide, you know, who's more trustworthy a person to deal with. You know, that's that. You know, I've done a video in the past where we talked about how someone threatened me with a negative review, as if it was some sort of fucking nuclear weapon, like it was going to destroy my business and take my livelihood. It's like, my God, you spend too much time behind a fucking keyboard, son, get out more. You know what I mean? You're having a laugh. So, you know, bottom line is, you've got to remember, if you walk into a room full of 100 people, I guarantee one of them is a dickhead. At least one of them is a dickhead, right? Now, here's the thing. You have a choice as to whether you walk into the room. Now, if you decide to let that one dickhead prevent you from entering the room, then really the problem is that, you know, you're limiting your opportunities, because the majority of people you deal with, right, will be just like you, ordinary people, just doing their thing. They want a service, you're there to provide, and most people will just let you get on with it, okay? That's my experience. I give most people the benefit of the doubt. But that does not mean I don't deal with dickheads on a regular basis, okay? It's very sadly part of the life of the self-employed in general. You're going to deal with dickheads. Learn to develop a thick skin. Learn to stand on your own 2 feet. And again, I don't mean to berate this young lad at all. Do you know what? This comes with experience. This comes with time. This comes with people like me reassuring people like them that this is just part of the journey, okay? I wish I had someone to sort of point this stuff out to me. Very sadly, I'll have to learn a lot of these lessons myself the hard way. But you have to understand, they have no more power over you than what you're prepared to hand over to them. And, you know, if you give them no ammunition, that's it, you know. Someone can be a dickhead your way, and you're like, listen, we've agreed a price, you're going to pay it. You know, if you don't pay it, that's fine. I'm just going to put it all back, or I'm just going to put mud all over your gut face, your soffits and stuff like that, because I've upheld my end of the bargain and you're clearly reeling back on yours. So, you know, end of the day, you charge for a result. Yeah. Now, if that result has been met satisfactorily, okay, time is irrelevant. I've had many discussions with customers. They've said, well, the lad was only here for 20 minutes to clean my home. I'm not paying 25 quid to have my windows done. And it was like, well, the thing is, you have to understand, it's not about time, it's about the result. You've said to me you're cancelling the window cleaning because he spent 25 minutes on site, or 20 minutes on site. Well, that's great. He might have spent 25 minutes on site, or 20 minutes. However long he spends on site is fucking irrelevant. The bottom line is, are the windows clean? If the answer is yes, get your wallet out. Pay your invoice. Because I'm not in the business of charging based on time. I'm charging on results. Okay, and the results speak for themselves. They're either clean or they are not. But bottom line is, if they are clean and we've cleaned them, you are going to pay. And that's that. So I just thought I'd stick my 2 pence in, because there will be young lads out there and girls out there who would start a business, but they let the fear of one dickhead stop them from working for 99% of people who are completely fucking reasonable, you know. And I find that, as a guy from the outside looking in, I find that baffling, because once you develop a thick skin and an ability to sort of stand back and stand behind what you stand for, the world is your oyster. You know, leave the dross and the pond life to their own devices. You will succeed. You know what I mean? This is not a case of letting the bastards win or competing. Just choose not to compete with them. It's like, listen, you've agreed to the price, now pay up. That's it. You know, you can stand behind your work and you can stand behind your processes if you've done everything right, and that's that. So just ensure you do what you do, and yeah, don't let the bastards win. I hope they found this piece of content useful. If you like the content that I put out, please consider like, subscribing, leave a comment even. Tell me, tell your tales of woe and stuff like that to the world, and ultimately, you've got to be able to stand behind you. That's it. That's the biggest piece of advice any person that can start a business, is to not allow people to weaponize public opinion. They sort of, oh my God, a Karen's going to go on Facebook and talk shit and talk smack about my business. Oh my God. Quaking in my boots, said no fucking self-employed person with a backbone ever. Wax lyrical about my business. Give me negative reviews. Well, I give a shit. I can stand behind my work, okay? And I will argue the toss with any customer that says otherwise, okay? We deliver a 5-star service, and, and that's that, okay? If you've got an overwhelming background of positive reviews, right, and one person turns around, one Karen turns around to you and goes, he did this, he did that, who do you think the public are going to believe? You think very highly of, this Karen might think very highly of their opinion, but it's about as worthless as the time they spend typing it out. You know what I mean? Get a fucking life. See you all in the next video. As per usual, keep on keeping on, stay positive, don't let the bastards get you down.